Jason, you're just lifting weights. You're not curing cancer, mate. Give it a rest. It's what somebody wrote on my community tab the other day. I made a status, again, one of my positive statuses that I make about strength training and weight and numbers and stuff like that. And someone said that. And the problem with that statement is that while it sounds true and it sounds good as a way to tell someone to chill out about something that they're passionate about and they make their career out of and they use to help other people, the problem is that we really are curing cancer. And it's such a cliche type statement to say, but the person who said it didn't really think that through. And I'm not saying that to be egotistical. I'm not saying that as anything but someone humble in the sense that, yes, I train hard. I work really, really hard. I'm in my 40s and I do inspire some other people to get in the gym and train. And I promote training and I promote health and fitness. And I'm very passionate about it. Right? My entire career in life revolves around strength training at this point. And I'm not the best. I'm not the best by a long shot. There are people who can way outlift me. Now, they're relatively rare individuals, but there are still a lot of them. So, what people say things like that don't understand is that you come over to my channel. I'm promoting fitness and athleticism and strength, particularly for other guys like me, particularly guys who are no longer spring chickens. Yeah, I have a very, very large younger audience also, but really my biggest demographics are, according to my analytics, of 25 to 35. That is my biggest block of people. Then 35 to 45, then guys under 25, okay? And then women and everything else. So that's my block of people. That's my audience. Well, let's stop and think about what we know about cancers. And then we'll go into the research on weightlifting and cancer. Weightlifting is pretty close to the closest thing you have for a cure for cancer based upon the epidemiology. Okay? But when we look at the meta-analysis on cancer, what do we find? What causes cancer? Is it your genes? No. Absolutely not. Only in a tiny percentage of people is it bad luck. The meta-analysis showed that depending upon the cancer types, because you need to understand cancer is a lot of different things, right? It's a lump group of a type of disease. Okay? It's a group of different diseases with different causes and things happening. Not all cancer cells behave the same. It's a type of mutation. So when you look at cancer, the meta-analysis shows that depending upon the cancer type, anywhere between 90 at the worst up to about 70% of cancers, depending on type, are a result of lifestyle. Well, what does that mean? That means that genetics are the cause of the other 10 to 30% of cases. In other words, nothing in that person's lifestyle dramatically or greatly contributed to it, such as their diet or activity or smoking or whatever else, right? But that's only, depending on some cancers, that only makes up 10% of the people. And on the other extreme, the most extreme other side is about 30%. About 30%. So even the cancers that are most genetic related, just under 1 in 3 people who get them, it's a result of their genes instead of their lifestyle. The ones that are least genetic related, 9 out of 10 of every people who get that form of cancer gave it to themselves. What are our things? What are we looking at? Exercise, smoking, a level of body fat you have, level of muscle mass you have, how much quality your diet is. Do you have nutrient deficiencies? Is it a poor quality diet? These are all factors. They're all factors. And when I say obesity, I don't mean like when the goofy bodybuilder types come here and say, Jason, you're fat. Technically, my body composition, if you were to run it through the doctors who specialize in cancer, I am at a very, very, very low risk. Why? Because my body fat percentage is in the normal healthy range. I'm not ripped. I'm under 20%. And I don't promote anybody bulk up past 20%. When you start going above 20% body fat, your chances of cancer increase. But muscle mass is protective against cancer. Well, I've got something like 60 pounds of muscle over the average guy my height. That's protective of cancer. I don't smoke. I don't eat processed foods for the most part. Okay, I eat a lot of calories, but I eat whole foods. I promote people eating whole foods. So let's come over to what we promote on this channel. I promote a lifestyle that is protective against cancer. And if it's protective against cancer, that's the cure. The best cure for cancer is to not get it. And in some cases of cancer, you can remove 90% of your risk by not being fat, by not smoking, by eating a reasonably balanced diet, and by exercising. 90%. All right, there's your cure. But let's come over and look at what happens with weight training. When you say something so stupid, guys, when you say something so stupid, when we're promoting life-saving and quality of life-changing lifestyles here. Look at the research on weight training. What do we know? People who resistance train, because they can't go through and break down bodybuilding, powerlifting, Olympic lifting. They haven't been able to do all that. But when studies have looked at the epidemiology, when they do multivariate analysis, in other words, because a lot of people who lift weights might eat better than most people, right, and so on and so forth. When they do multivariate analysis and try to cut out the amount of assistance the other factors give, lifting weights at least twice a week, okay, that's all we know. People who lift weights at least twice a week, that includes everybody, every training style lifts weights at least twice a week. They get cancer at 50% of the rate of other people. Okay? In other words, lifting weights at least twice a week, again, we don't know anything about full styles and which types and volumes or whatever give the best response. We just know as a general rule. This is the medical research. People who lift weights at least twice a week get cancer at 50% of people who lift weights less than twice a week. That includes non-lifters. 50%. So if I'm telling people to get in the gym and lift weights at least twice a week, vigorously, which I generally tell people 3 to 4. In my case, it's every day. But if we do that, we just cured 50% of cancer. 50%, half of it. Let those numbers sink in. We've prevented it. What about people who get it? Studies out there show that people who continue to resistance train and lift weights while on chemotherapy have twice the survival rate of non-lifters. What? Well, strong people are harder to kill. To quote Mark Rippletoe, strong people are harder to kill, and that includes cancer. And it makes sense. People say, why? Number one, muscle mass improves insulin sensitivity. Okay, if you put on 15 pounds of solid muscle, your body processes insulin and IGF-1 differently. That's generally what's feeding your cancer cells. The muscle itself. Also, people who resistance train, their muscle tissue itself has better nutrient partitioning, better insulin uptake. In other words, people who work out and lift, even relative to other forms of exercise, tend to have lower levels of circulating insulin, even when eating the same amount of carbohydrates and sugar and other stuff. Okay? We have lower circulating levels in our bloodstream of the things that feed the cancer cells, because everyone gets the cells. They just don't always grow big enough. Your body usually destroys them unless they outgrow your body's ability to fight them off. Okay. Resistance training basically helps fight them off better. You start looking at all these lifestyle factors and look at the fact that I promote lifting, particularly look at my big audience, target audience, middle-aged guys who I'm telling them you can continue to get strong and jacked and train as you get older. Because I'm sitting here at 43, deadlifting over 600, squatting mid 500s, overhead pressing 225. You're not done, guys. You can get in and keep going. Okay. Cancer is a lifestyle-induced disease for the most part, with a few exceptions, a minority of exceptions. And, I feel bad for those people. You have to feel bad for people who did everything right and still get cancer. Well, that sucks. That's bad luck. But we can stop most of it. It's mostly a lifestyle-induced set of diseases. We're over here promoting the lifestyle factors that prevent it. So when you say something so ignorant, you're not curing cancer. Well, yeah, actually, we kind of are. We kind of are. And promoting healthy, fit, athletic, strong lifestyles. That's what all of this is about, guys. This isn't about me. It's about getting people strong and fit and healthy. And strong people are harder to kill.